conservative commentator from The Blaze, Tomi Lahren, was here, and she sparked a backlash online for saying this at the table.
At our table, yeah.
I'm pro-choice, and here's why. I am a constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution. I am someone that's for limited government, and so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. I can sit here and say that as a Republican, and I can say, you know what, I'm for limited government, so stay out of my guns, and you can stay out of my body as well.
So some folks are calling her a hypocrite.
Because she's pro-choice.
For being pro-choice. Yeah, I was going to read that part.
Yeah, sorry.
For being, that's all right. Yeah, it's Monday. I'm back. And still calling herself a conservative. But do you have to be on the same side of every single issue of your political party? Aren't you allowed to evolve and grow?
I don't know who does. I don't know who falls in line with everything. I think we're such complicated beings that to fall in line with every partisan topic, I think that would be hard to do.
But people, it's interesting because I asked her that question because, as many of you know, I call myself pro-life. I know you don't like that term, or anti-abortion.
Yeah.
And I'm anti-abortion.
That's a better
I'll say
thing.
that, anti-abortion. I'm against divorce. So I'm conservative on so many social issues, and I'm always called a libtard and left-leaning and all of this stuff, which I don't describe myself that way. Maybe what we need to do is stay away from all these labels, because I don't
against divorce.
It's my faith.
Does not believe
I don't believe in it.
divorce.
My faith doesn't.
So
doesn't
people
believe
should stay together even if there's an abusive relationship?
Maybe not get married in the first place.
Well, how do you know that? Sometimes they fool you.
Maybe not get married in the first place. But anyway, I think
it's true. Yeah.
True.
I mean, that's a hard one. I understand
it's a
your
hard
other
one.
position, but that one.
But I don't believe the government should be making the decision, because you personally are pro-life, but you don't think the government should be making that decision
No,
either.
I don't, which is seemingly in line with what she says. But what's fascinating to me is so many conservatives came out against her. They've been dragging her. They've been just so terrible to her. And that's, I think, one of the problems with conservatism. There are many faces to it.
Well, I think you can be a constitutional conservative and you can be pro-choice.
No, that you cannot be.
Oh, you absolutely can.
No, because the Constitution says the protection of life, liberty, and property.
The Constitution guarantees a right to privacy. Constitution guarantees a right to privacy, and that's not. No, that to me is a misinterpretation.
The Constitution is talking about your individual life.
Right.
Let's be specific. They were not talking about abortion when they created the Constitution, because they weren't dealing with it. But what the problem for me is, what it does give you is the right to make decisions for yourself as an individual. That's what the Constitution protects, your individuality. And the idea that other people, and it says you don't have to believe any religion. You don't have to believe anybody. You don't have to subscribe to anybody else's beliefs. That's why you have freedom of religion. That's why we have these freedoms. So I think that, the Constitution is specific to you. That's to me.
My bigger question for her, though, is if you're a constitutional conservative and you believe in limited government, then why did you vote for Donald Trump? Because he doesn't stand for any of that.
Well, she didn't know
He's
what
a
he
big
stood
government
for.
guy.
They don't know.
If you listen to what he said before, but if you paid attention and you listened to what he said before he got elected, he was a big government guy.
Listen to him before. Yeah. See, people weren't listening.
Well, they should have been listening before and now.
I would call myself a Democrat right now, but when Lyndon Johnson was president and he was escalating the war in Vietnam, I would never call myself a Democrat. So it depends on what's going on.
But if you're advocating for limited government and saying, I believe in limited government, nothing Donald Trump said before this campaign was limited government, and nothing he's doing now is limited government. Limited government, people are fighting him.
He lied his way to the election.
Labels. Let's get rid of the labels and look at the person and the policies.
Who we are. This is what I believe. This is what you believe. That doesn't mean you're this. Doesn't mean you're that. That's just what you believe. And if you're a constitutional person, you're entitled to your beliefs under the Constitution. We'll be right back.